Is it really?
Low on battery.
Wow.
It is.
What are we gonna do for 100?
Big
fellas?
9-0. We'll have to go on the road.
I think we each have to buy a bottle of champagne and drink it live.
That's an awesome idea. Throughout the show.
We can do that.
Yeah. Should probably not do it on a Sunday
Yeah.
night, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I will not be able to do
That's
that.
what we're doing.
All right.
I will actually be
We
working
won't
at that
tell
point in
people
time.
what we're doing.
No, we will not.
That's what we're doing.
People will know though. It'll be-
We'll like pop a bottle,
yeah.
and we
Yeah,
won't tell people what it is.
At the beginning with the noise, and we won't tell
You'll
them
hear
what
like
the noise was.
the pouring sound. Just gradually get less coherent. That'd be awesome. It's the best idea you've ever had.
It's gonna come like smack dab during college football season, so that'll be good.
Yeah, well, our pick
We
six.
should definitely bring back caller number 1 for that.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. That's what it should be. Just like it should be all segments and just our
Yeah.
greatest hits.
Yeah. Beta male.
Beta male, the confessional.
The confessional has legs.
I-
I still
Oh, it
believe
does.
the confessional.
Hold on, I think both of those two actually have legs. I
Yeah.
don't mind beta male.
Beta male is
Or
a
the
great
confessional.
concept.
No, I
It's a
think
great
they're
name.
good. I just don't think. I think there was a point in time where we liked caller number 1, and we were slightly serious about it.
I
But
think
it
we
was
just.
awful.
Yeah, I don't know.
So bad.
You gotta try.
It was
things, fail fast.
a below average idea that was executed horrendously.
Yeah.
That pretty much sums it up.
Oh gosh.
Pretty much.
We're getting back
Okay.
into college football season, which means it's back time for more experimental segments.
It's funny. We should be really doing the experimenting at this time of year, but instead we just be like, oh, another 5-4.
There's no content to experiment with.
I know it's true.
If you guys watch the Tour de France, we could. There are
Nope.
crashes every day. Guys basically giving themselves vasectomies just all over the French countryside.
It is. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
On the vasectomy note. All right. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to episode 90 of All the Small Takes, coming to you from what we're firmly calling the official dog days of summer. We're officially scraping the bottom of the barrel for content, but I think we've got some fun discussion ahead. So I'm here with John and Cooper as usual. Guys, how's it going? How's it bearing the heat? John, how is it in your part of the country? Because I know it's hot in the Midwest, in Ohio, where Cooper and I are.
It's hot and it's wet. We have been having tropical storms. So that's actually, believe it or not, kept while I think the trees are about to fall down on the house because of the wind, that does for that period of time keep the heat down. And then as soon as it stops raining, the air turns back into a solid substance that you can barely breathe. But yeah, no, I mean, that's fine. I'm not going outside too much right now because my brain is slowly turning to mush at this desk. I'm trying to study for the bar exam. And actually, I asked Caitlin if I was having a stroke tonight because it was a period of time where I couldn't pronounce any words.
It's good that your wife is a medical professional who can properly kind of identify.
Yeah, the warning signs.
Yeah. Well, glad you're not having a stroke.
Yeah. No, still alive. So
Yep, good. And if we start to hear you mispronounce, we'll just we'll holler for Caitlin.
just keep going. It'll be fine. I'll
right.
snap out of it eventually.
Cooper, how are you doing? Are you beating the heat in Cincinnati?
No, dude, I was outside this entire weekend. I'm like sunburned everywhere, dude. And I was even like trying to be vigilant, and I was like, I'm going to apply sunscreen every hour, which I don't think is necessary, but that's what I was doing.
No, it is.
And then I got home last night, and I like realized that I totally forgot to apply sunscreen to my neck. Like, just completely forgot it.
Rookie mistake. Inside or outside?
inside my neck.
Sorry,
the
what?
inside of your neck. Yeah, the
The-
inside. There's the inside part of your neck under the chin, and there's the outside part. You've
Are
never
we
called
sure?
it
No.
that? Okay. Well, I mean, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Sorry, when I think of like the inside of the neck, never mind, I'm not going.
I think
What, the
yeah.
trachea? Yeah. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Your esophagus.
And no, I don't put sunscreen there.
I have actually managed to burn this part of my neck multiple times in my life. Most notably, one time at band camp. But that's neither here nor there. What kind of sunscreen are you using? Are you using the sunscreen that's good for the coral reefs, or are you killing the coral reefs?
Ooh.
I'm killing all the coral reefs.
Banana boat?
No. It's you gotta. It's like the good sunscreen. If you look at the ingredients list, only has two or three ingredients in it, and it either has titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. That's actually also not
Yeah,
poisonous
no,
to
don't
us.
have that.
So
Yeah.
are you a copper tone guy?
Me?
Banana boat?
I have no idea. I grab what's available in the house and I use it
It's Kroger
badly, apparently.
Kroger baby brand. That's what we're using.
You gotta get on the banana boat bandwagon.
No, the banana boat has the bad stuff in it.
Oh, really?
It's toxic. Yeah.
But the memes, John.
The memes. Yeah. Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
No, probably not. Okay. Well, now that we know that there's an inside and an outside of the neck, I think maybe should we just end the podcast now? That's a fun fact of the day.
So that's a great title. It's a great title.
I know I wrote it down as the title of the episode because I'm always when I'm editing, I'm always trying to think what could be a good title, and I think we just nailed it.
The inside of the neck.
Yeah. Or this one time at band camp.
Yeah. that one's a bit of a layup, though. You know.
We'll see. We'll see what kind of mood I'm in. Anyway, you can check out the Small Takes on Twitter at Small Takes. I think Cooper's going to try to be a little more active. He's got a fun little trip coming up that we can maybe chat about here in a second when we do our soccer discussion. But he might be putting out some more international content on the Twitter account. And you can email us, allthesmalltakes@gmail.com, and download, subscribe, rate, and review. So relegation update is not really applicable anymore because it's not Premier League season anymore, correct?
It's always Premier League season.
Okay, fair. But I think the relegation update is that neither Manchester United nor Arsenal were relegated.
That is the latest update.
Okay. Look at me.
But I think we should also the relegation update is just I think it's a catchy name for our general.
Yeah, it's an evergreen. It's an evergreen title. I agree.
Yeah. For soccer.
So under this, we had the fact that Notre Dame Stadium hosted Liverpool versus Dortmund on Saturday, I think this past weekend, which is the first time Notre Dame Stadium has ever hosted a soccer match. That feels not true.
Yeah, no, I think it is true.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't think they ever let them play soccer games in there like in the 70s or the 80s. I'm talking about the Notre Dame team. I think they whenever they played, I think they always had their own stadium.
And this is like a trend of, right? European soccer teams playing in large American football venues. Cooper, didn't you go to the Big House for one of these?
You went to jail?
Yeah. Went to jail just to watch the soccer game.
Prison
my
Cooper.
love for the sport.
Yeah.
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 Do we like these?
Yeah, no, I went up to Ann Arbor to watch.
I mean, I like the
like
idea.
them.
Okay, that's good.
I wish that the MLS teams were the ones going around and playing exhibition games, and everyone was getting excited about those. But that's not a thing right now. But I mean, I like Arsenal. I like the Premier League. So I think it's fun to bring it here to the U.S. They make a decent amount of money, even though they only fill the stadiums about halfway. So
yeah, that's about half more than what they filled
fine.
for MLS. They used to fill them for MLS games.
yeah, I mean, there was like 40,000 plus people at Notre Dame Stadium. So
yeah,
pretty good draw.
I think it's really good for the European teams. I think it allows them to expose their brand, to spread their brand. And you'll see like some teams, it depends on the club, they'll fill the stadiums.
Yeah.
The game that
Some
I
of
went
them
to a couple years ago when I saw Manchester United and Real Madrid, I'm pretty sure it was the biggest attended soccer game ever in the United States. But that's because you're two of the top 3 brands in global soccer, Manchester United and Real Madrid. So I think it's really good from that perspective. It's really good from a training perspective. And I think it's good for just the global brand of soccer. And I love spreading soccer into the United States. So I'm all for it.
Grow the game.
Grow the game.
So Cooper, do you want to talk a little bit about your I guess excursion pilgrimage?
Well,
to,
I think before we do that, we should note that unfortunately the Lions. Do you guys have a nickname? FC Cincinnati. What are you guys? The Lions or something? Do you have a lion in your
I
shield?
don't know. I just
I want to call you.
We do.
The Lions. The Flying Lions.
okay.
the flag
Go for
has
it.
a lion on it.
So the Flying Lions are not flying high right now, unfortunately. With a -30 goal differential, they are last in the Eastern Conference. At
That's
17
it.
Points.
It's only -30.
Only -30. Only 17 behind Columbus Crew, who are second to last in the Eastern Conference, unfortunately.
That seems low.
Yeah, they're only 4 points back from them. The Union, however, are holding on to the top spot, so that's exciting over Atlanta United. So top of the East. The Loons, the team we all care about, fourth in the
All
West.
right.
In the hunt.
You guys mocked the Loons.
Only 12 points off the top spot, off LAFC. Oh,
Yes.
we got to talk about the, what is it?
Yeah.
El Trafico.
El
yeah,
Trafico.
we're talking about this pre-show. Yes.
So yeah, they call it El Trafico, which is amazing.
Great. I love that.
It's the battle. It's the battle of LA, LAFC versus the Galaxy, right?
The Galaxy, yeah.
Yep.
And Zlatan just
Oh,
dominated,
gosh.
just made LAFC. He was their daddy.
Big time.
He hat tricked, I believe.
Yep. That's a verb.
It's a verb. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Just made the verb. And also just like talked smack to
Oh,
I
yeah.
think like the staff or like training coaching staff for LAFC, and was like talking smack on their best player. This is the kind of stuff that grows the game. Like, I did not know that this was happening, but I like consumed more Zlatan content than I probably have consumed MLS content period in the last year on Saturday.
Zlatan is great for the MLS. I just wish he was playing on the East Coast because he would get even more media coverage. If he was playing in New York, I'm sure that, well, actually, no, they wouldn't care about him at all. But
Yeah, I think LA has like a great
LA's probably the prime spot for it.
yeah, great like homegrown, like especially LAFC being a new club, they've actually turned it seemingly into a strong fan base and like
Yeah.
rivalry.
Well, they're good too. So I mean, that's an added bonus.
Yeah.
I'm so stoked. I hope more. I hope eventually the Philadelphia Union will develop a rival, but we
Yeah.
don't get any
And
because no one
the
cares
crew
about us.
and the crew
Don't you
at
have some like
FC
fake I-90 rivalry,
With-
like with New York, one of the New York teams or something
we
like that?
were supposed
that
to have
someone
we're-
made up.
We're supposed to have one with the Red Bulls, and that's not one.
Yep,
I
there
think
it
that's
is.
one the league.
I knew
made
there
up.
was a fake one. Yeah, exactly.
And the Red Bulls don't care about it because the Red Bulls' real rivals are DC United and now also kind of NYCFC. And DC United doesn't care about us because they're like, oh, we care more about the Red Bulls. And it's like, DC United, you suck. Just go home. So
Yeah, Jeff, we have the Hell is Real rivalry coming up here soon.
Is that what it's called? Really?
Yeah,
what
Yeah.
is it?
Is that because it's just so?
you know, because of the signs that you pass on 71.
I thought it was because it's been hotter than how in Ohio. For
I
the last
doubt
2
that
weeks.
that's what they're actually going to call it. Like, but that's what Columbus fans and FC Cincinnati fans call it.
I like
It's
that
the
a
Hell's
lot.
Real rivalry.
That
The
has
Hells-
a very ominous tone. I really like that actually.
Hell's Real rivalry? Oh,
Hell is
okay.
real. It's because
get
of
it
these
now. I
like
get that
signs on the way from 71
Yeah.
from Columbus to Cincinnati that point out that hell is real.
Yeah, and you're living in it because it's 105-degree heat index.
Well, if you read the Inferno, Jeff, actually, the deepest part of hell is cold.
It's true.
It's
That's
ice.
just stick around until January then.
Yeah.
What FC Cincinnati and the Crew haven't played yet. I think we talked about this. They're playing in August, both games, right?
Both games in August.
Yeah, the MLS was really smart about the scheduling, and they put those games like within 2 weeks of each other.
Do we
Super
play
smart
everyone in the
in the
league?
middle of August? Yes. Yes, you play every same. Okay, MLS basic scheduling. Eastern Conference team. As the Philadelphia Union, you play every other Eastern Conference team twice, both home and away. You play the Western Conference team once, and then you alternate, from
Home
year
and
to
away
year,
each
whether or not that game is home or away. Yeah.
I feel like we should axe half of the Western Conference or half of the opposing conference and just say you don't play them and you play your regional rival more often. It's like we don't have divisions, which is fine. I think divisions are dumb, but you just play your rival more often.
Is that necessary? I mean, in world soccer, they only play each other twice.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe we just fix the scheduling to actually spread it out more.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the rivalries are what makes MLS. That's like a big selling point for them. Like, and it's really is the West Coast with Seattle, Portland, the two LA clubs. Yeah, those seem to be the two best rivalries in American soccer. So I would be in favor of making those more frequent, a la like divisional games in the NFL or MLB.
Yeah. How many games do we play in the MLS each year then?
Math, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it's like 24. Oh, 36. It's 36.
36 games. Okay.
And how many Premier League games do we play?
38. 19 teams. Well, 20 total teams.
Okay.
19 twice.
All right, so that's actually on par.
Oh, yeah. On par in every way.
Yeah. Well, I'm just sick with the scheduling.
Quality of play, players, money.
Yeah, pretty much all the same.
Same league. Same league.
This league.
The league.
So just really quickly dovetailing off of that, Cooper, you are making a pilgrimage, your first ever visit to Old Trafford, which I imagine
not necessarily true. I've been there before.
First ever visit for a game to Old Trafford.
Yes, for a game. Yeah, for the first game of the EPL season.
Oh, really? Are you going to paint up?
Chelsea. Yeah, Man U versus Chelsea. Probably not.
You could do like...
I'm like
red
sitting,
on the front.
I think. Yeah, keep going, John.
Red on the front, and then Pulisic's number on the back.
I think you got to do it.
I don't think they would actually let me in the stadium.
I don't think they would.
Because they're like super strict about that.
Yeah.
You like have to be like home supporter to sit in the stadium, or you're sitting in the away section as an away supporter.
Something that we should implement.
Because they like try and reduce like fan violence thing.
What were you saying about wanting to do that in America, John?
At Notre Dame Stadium. We should do that.
Yeah. Instead of just selling all the tickets to Georgia fans. Anyway.
Or just confiscate all the Georgia fans' cell phones. Really, whichever one's easier.
But how would Notre Dame season ticket holders make money?
I don't know.
Probably from their lucrative jobs.
I'm gonna guess the Notre Dame season ticket holders, especially now that they axed all the guys that have been there for a while. Don't worry about the money dollar bills.
So anyway, Cooper's gonna try to take some pictures and some little snippets from his trip, but very cool. Be a fun trip.
Are you gonna go look at the Premier League trophy?
Should be super dope.
Across the street.
Wait, are you talking about like one of the 19 that are in Old Trafford?
No, I'm talking about one of the team that actually won it this year. Go look at Man City, the real champions.
So you're not talking about going to like the museum and looking at all the trophies and the most trophies out of any English club. You're not talking about those trophies.
Well, not at the museum. Maybe the museum, but not at the museum.
Is museum and controversial? Are those like two
controversy? Cooper's prepping so he doesn't stand out,
Museum. Got a lot to learn. Okay. Anything else on European football?
Oh, Yeah, I did want to ask John how he feels about the bruised banana uniforms.
I'm not a
I know
huge
this
fan
is
of
bringing
them.
up a visual on an audio platform,
That's what we
but
We're not above
we're
it.
letting everyone else know you should go look at the bruised banana Arsenal uniform.
They've
From
done
what I
things
hear,
like
you're
that
either
before.
a fan or you hate it.
Oh, those are dope.
I think it's pretty disgusting.
No,
I like
think
those. It's not bruised banana. It's like it's
No, that's legitimately what the uniform is titled. Is a bruised banana uniform.
yeah, I know it
That's
came
what
up
it's
when
called.
I googled it.
It's like
Yeah.
It's like what? Yeah, I don't.
It's cool. It's got like a '90s kind of MC Hammer vibe.
Yeah, which is dumb.
Well, that's what it comes from. The old school retro kit is cool. The new one is not cool.
I love their normal uniforms.
Okay.
I'm a
They're
fan.
amazing, but
I just
Maybe-
wanted to ask John how he felt about
maybe
bruised
this
bananas.
is the year I actually get an Arsenal uniform.
Get the bruised banana. Do it.
Not going to do that.
Okay.
Can't confirm. Can't confirm. Will not be buying the bruised banana.
Hey, when's your birthday?
February 1st. Yeah.
All right. So from that football to college football, we are going to do our second conference preview because, believe it or not, college football is a little over a month away, and we're trying to get some of the, we'll say, less engaged, at least conferences we're less engaged with, out of the way, which saddens me to say that the conference we're doing today is the Big 12.
Well, okay, hold on. I think if that's the opening you're going to go with, I think we should have done the ACC today. Because
Too late.
Notre Dame does play them.
Superlatives.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying I dislike the Big 12. I don't think they're as good as some people think they are, but I do end up watching their games more often because I like their time slot. They're always fun Big 12 games later on in the day.
Yes, and they're always fun because there's oodles of points scored. Always.
Yeah.
It's a yeah. But the ACC,
No,
I
it's
think,
just crap football.
well, the ACC is worth waiting because it's more nationally relevant. Due to
Because they have
one
Clemson.
team in particular, yes.
Yeah, I mean, Dino Babers isn't going to win a national championship.
What about the guy down at Miami, new head coach?
The guy down in Miami.
Name escapes me.
Yeah. You mean Temple's old head coach? He was my father's alma mater, Temple University. He was hired there for like a week before he left to go to Miami
That's right.
this offseason. People forget. Manny Diaz, scumbag.
Manny Diaz, thanks.
Scumbag Manny Diaz.
Shocking he would end up at Miami.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And Tate Martell.
And Tate Martell of Buckeye fame.
Are we just doing the ACC? Should we just audible?
No, we have these nice superlatives.
I know.
We're going to use them.
I know this is good. We're priming. We're priming for the ACC one, but yes, we are going to do the Big 12 superlatives. Okay, so we'll start with my favorite one. John was perfect in coming up with this. Which Big 12 coach has the most championship experience? This is not really a superlative. It's more of a trivia question for the people.
Well,
So
you can make an argument too, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Championship experience is
It's an open
a vague
phrase.
term. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you might say Lincoln Riley, right? Like been in a couple of college football playoffs. Was on staff with Bob Stoops before that. So he might be my pick.
Who
Might be a pick.
didn't get any experience from there.
It's true.
So, yeah. Tom Herman has some championship experience.
Some.
Very little, but some. I mean, am I gonna like spoil it if I like say the answer that John's gonna say?
Sure. Say the answer I'm going to
Is
say.
this like okay? So Les Miles has the most championship
Last
experience.
Miles.
Fake news. Les Miles does not have the most championship experience in the Big 12.
Who does, John?
It was a red herring. It was a false flag operation. It's actually Chris Kleiman, and I thought you were gonna ruin it because you brought it up earlier, Jeff.
Oh.
He went to 5 straight. Or no, sorry. He went to 4 national championships. One of these is a semifinal. The one in between is a semifinal. 2016, with North Dakota State, won 4 national championships. So
And
I
he's now
believe
the head coach at Kansas State.
now the head coach of Kansas State at the Kansas State University.
Yes. Yeah. Shout out to the K-State folks that listen.
Yeah.
You're appreciated. Okay, that was a successful red herring.
Yeah,
But I do think it's worth reminding that Les Miles is the head football coach at Kansas.
he is the head football coach of Kansas. I'm very excited. He's watering the field at Kansas with Dos Equis. Getting the boys ready to go.
At the very least, it'll make. I mean, I don't want to say it'll make Kansas football relevant, but it'll make Kansas football like a dumpster fire that's somewhat interesting to look at.
Well, I mean, he can't be worse than any head coach they've had there in the past
No, it's correct. He cannot.
10 years, you know?
Mark Mangino was the last hope. So, okay, so the answer is Chris Kleiman.
Yeah, Chris Kleiman.
A shock to all of us. Big 12 has a lot of new coaches this year. We're talking about this pre-show as well. I know I'm forgetting one other besides K-State, KU.
The Red Raiders.
Virginia.
The Red Raiders.
Yep. So Dana Holgerson and Cliff Kingsbury are gone. I couldn't even tell you who's coaching at either school.
Yeah. Who would have thought that at this point in time, Texas Tech is a more desirable job than the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, or at least a harder job. Just wild. Wild that you can be fired from a college head coaching job and then get hired to be a head coach in the NFL. It's a brave new world.
But hey, if you know Sean McVay.
If you know Sean McVay. If you look like Sean McVay.
If you look like Sean McVay and once brushed shoulders with him in an elevator.
You too could be a head coach.
We have a job for you in the NFL. So the next one is the Urban Meyer RIP in peace is Texas back award.
Well, is Texas back / let's not forget about Baylor.
Oh yeah, let's not forget the
quick
Baylor.
shout out. Things happen to Baylor,
Bad
and they
things.
still have a football team.
They still do.
Still have a football team.
That's like projected to be pretty good this year.
Kind of competitive this
Yeah.
year.
Okay, I'm not entirely sure about the parameters. Of the
I'm not
superlative.
either. Let's talk about Texas. Now. I think that's where this is leading us.
Yeah. So the idea is that this is the award that is given to the 1-2 champion. Sorry, that should be that's the last. The one other part of the name that got left off.
No, we're getting to the 1-2 champion. That's going to be the last thing we do.
That'll be the last. Okay. So separate award.
Well, let's just talk about Texas in general because Texas came off of the end of last season, obviously on a very high note. They beat the team that a lot of folks thought should have been in the college football playoff, Georgia.
Maybe their players shouldn't have spent the night before tweeting.
They did. They fed them some of their own medicine.
Gosh.
And Bevo almost killed.
Bevo straight up murdered.
And that was it was so they're coming into 2019 on a lot of high notes.
Thank you for reminding me about that.
Their mascot almost critically maiming another team's mascot. But no, Tom Herman, expectations, so this is an evergreen statement, but they've not been this high at Texas since like
last year.
Mid-2000s. Last year. But how realistic do we think they are this year? Versus years past when they maybe haven't been as back as
back as some would hope,
Yeah.
I don't know. Cooper, do you want? I started answering, but I'm interested to hear Cooper's take first.
I mean, it seems like they.
I have no idea. I feel like they weren't that far behind last year, right? So, like, how much more does it really take for them to be back?
No, I think many would say that they were back last year.
Correct me if I'm wrong. That Big 12 championship game against Oklahoma was a lot closer than maybe people might have thought it was.
Well, they beat Oklahoma during the regular season too.
Yep. At the game.
I mean, I might argue that they're already back. Are we saying are they going to win the conference? I still think Oklahoma's probably favored. I don't want to get into that conversation, but I think they're because I know we're saving that for later. But they're already back.
Yeah, I think.
And I think no reason to think they wouldn't be at least slightly marginally improved upon last year.
Same quarterback coming back, Sam Allinger.
They lost a decent amount of skill players, I think. I don't know. I don't remember. I think Texas was definitely back last year, but the question is, are they going to stay back this year, or are they going to leave again? That's really the question.
That's the Notre Dame Memorial question.
Well, yeah. Is Notre Dame going to stick around? Yeah. But I mean, because it seemed like his first season there was just so awful, and then the second season was pretty good. So I don't know. I'm ready to watch them compete and maybe beat Oklahoma, because I mean Oklahoma is breaking in a new quarterback this year, but I think they're back.
Okay. So they're going to lose whoever they play in week 1, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Lock that one in.
Yeah, like Louisiana Tech.
Yeah. They lost. They actually were one of Kansas's only in-conference wins 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Kansas beat them not all that long ago, which is crazy to think about. Okay. A couple others here, and then we can move on. So we'll do our MVP, which is, in this case, what we've called the transfer portal newcomer of the year. Which maybe, I guess this isn't necessarily your MVP, but Jalen Hurts is now the quarterback at Oklahoma. So, well, I guess player of the year in the Big 12, MVP in the Big 12. Start with you, John. Do you think it's Jalen Hurts? Do you think it's someone else?
I don't think it's Sam Ehlinger. And I'm not sure there's another Big 12 player whose name I know. I was thinking maybe D.D. Westbrook, but I'm pretty sure he left. Pretty sure he's not there anymore.
That's right.
So he was last year, right? He wasn't Baker Mayfield, right?
No, I think he might have been Baker Mayfield. I think you're thinking of
Mayfield?
Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood Brown.
Who
Yes,
did get drafted.
Also similar to D.D. Westbrook. Anyway, yeah, no, I think it's, why not Kyler Murray? Who cares? Or not Kyler Murray. Why not Kyler Murray again? Because he's playing in the NFL.
Why not? Why not?
Who among us? Who would say? Sorry. Yeah, that other guy. The guy. Jalen Hurts. Him. Why not him? I don't really care. I mean, I think really the player of the year, I think, is probably actually. Well, now I can't even say the coach's name. I'll stop talking. Thank you.
Okay. Cooper.
Stroke alert.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm in the same exact boat as John. I know 3 players actually in the Big 12. 2 of them play for Oklahoma, and 1 of them plays for Texas. And to play devil's advocate, I'm just going to pick the guy from Texas. So I'll go with Sam Ehlinger, who I think I picked last year, or I might have picked his backup to win. Either way, I picked a Texas quarterback. Eventually, that's got to hit for me, so I'll just stick with it.
Yeah, I was going to go with Sam Ehlinger too, but Cooper made it not a trendy pick. So I'm ashamed to say I don't know that many other players in the Big 12. Mason Rudolph is no longer at Oklahoma State. He was going to be my other fun name to throw out there.
We'll get a new Oklahoma State quarterback who'll be there for 15 years now, though, which will be exciting. A new reign will begin.
Yes. So I'll go with Sam Ehlinger too. Just put the full reverse jinx on Texas to lose that week 1 game. All right. Last 2 here. Coach of the year, also known as the Cliff Kingsbury Style Over Substance Award. So, Cooper, do you have a nominee here?
Yeah, I do. Matt Campbell, I think, will probably be Coach of the Year. Coaches Iowa State, right? That's
Clones. Yeah,
right.
The Clones.
Okay. Just making sure I had the right guy.
Okay. John?
I'm going to go with Chris Klieman because did Kansas State go 500 last year? Do we feel like that?
Pretty close to
Pretty
it,
close.
yeah.
I think they're going to go a bit better than 500. I think there's a chance that he goes like 8-4 or 9-3, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's a first-year head coach," and Kansas State hasn't lost a beat, so they give it to him.
Okay. Mine's obvious. It's Mike Gundy. Okay, I'm amazed we haven't talked about so far
future.
the most glorious, at least style. If we're talking strictly style, and this is the Style Over Substance Award. The hair is back. I don't know if you've seen, but the mullet's back. And from this preview that I'm reading, Oklahoma State's expected to at least be decent. I know they're replacing Mason Rudolph, but like John said, they just groom them down there in is it Stillwater?
Stillwater. It is Stillwater.
Stillwater.
Land of mosquitoes.
Land of mosquitoes and air raid quarterbacks. So yeah,
And mullets.
and mullets, glorious mullets. All right, last question. The one true champion.
The one
Which is
true champion.
Just ironic because for a while they didn't have a conference title game. They do now. Who is the winner of the Big 12, John?
So yeah, it's Oklahoma. Oklahoma's the winner. Oklahoma's gonna win. But before we go further, just real quick, who do you guys think are the top 3 according to the odds?
So Oklahoma,
Texas, Iowa State.
Texas. I don't think it's Iowa State. I think it's probably Baylor.
Okay, so it's Oklahoma and Texas, and then it's a split between Iowa State and West Virginia.
Wow.
So I feel like the third team there is just so
Who
weird.
is putting money on West Virginia, losing their head coach and their quarterback?
Yeah, I don't know. Not a lot of smart money there, I don't think. But sheesh.
Okay.
You can get 10,000 to 1 odds on Kansas.
Is there a
Less.
universe out of 10,000 universes where it could happen?
I mean, you get like 2 bad injuries in Oklahoma and Texas, and then everyone else collapses in November like they always do.
Yeah.
Couple late night games in Lawrence. So, Lawrence.
Yeah. The raucous environment that is Lawrence, Kansas. Yeah. Those odds probably aren't high enough, if we're being honest. Okay. Cooper, who's your winner of the Big 12?
No one. Because I think what's going to happen is Oklahoma's going to win the Big 12, and then Texas is going to beat them in the championship game. So I'm picking no one.
But that's Texas winning the Big 12 then.
They're the one true
It's
champion.
no one.
They're the one true champion.
It's no one.
So I take it that means you're also saying they don't have a representative in the college football playoff.
Not this year, no.
Not this year. Ooh.
Wow. All right.
Leaving
Which
them.
I also said last year, and that didn't work.
Did not.
That's the Pac-12. You said no. Big 12. You said no. So
3 conferences left. 3 Power Fives.
and
I wonder if I'm going to do the same thing I did last year. Who knows?
Is there a team that's not in a conference though that could? I don't know. Hey, well,
Cooper's going to double. He's going to double up on the SEC or the Big 10.
yeah, probably the Big 10.
Jeff, do they make the playoff?
So Texas and yes,
Yes.
I think Texas. If you're gonna go all in on it, why not? I think they win the conference. They win the conference title, and then because so much of what seems to be the college football playoff criteria is built around your brand, and Texas undeniably still has a strong brand in college football. They'd have a hard time keeping them out.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma's going to make it. So
I don't know. We'll see.
we'll see. Lock it in.
All right. So that's our Big 12 preview. Lock it in. Follow up with us in January. And that's really all the relevant sports content we have, at least timely. So we're going to do a Fire 4 that is fitting for this time of the year because this is rewatchable season. Not only rewatchable television shows and movies, but rewatchable games on YouTube. It's something we've talked about in the past. Cooper is a big fan of doing this to prep himself for college football season.
Mm-hmm. Do it all the
So-
time. I think I've watched like every single Ohio State game that's on YouTube since 2014.
See, that's
Are we-
sick. That's pretty
Are we
sick.
doing 2-a-days yet, Cooper, on that? Or if we're not gotten into it?
It depends. I mean, sometimes you can get like the no huddle edition where the video is only about like 40 minutes. You can kind of speed through those.
Yep. But in honor of
depends.
that, in honor of Cooper's tradition, we're gonna do our Fire Fours of rewatchable games that in these dog days of summer, when you have nothing else on, you turn to YouTube, and what do you type in to to fill your sports craving until college football comes around. So how do we want to do this? Do you want to snake draft it?
Of course you do.
Okay.
Do the snake, get lost in the snake. It's tradition.
So why don't we go John, me, Cooper, and then swing it back around?
Can we change the order? Never mind. No, we got to leave
go
the
ahead.
names so they are. No. I wanted to change the order of the names in the Google Docs. So I would have something to go off, but that would make it too easy. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Okay. All right.
I just know I'm going first. So
yes, you're going first.
Doing one. Are we starting with 4 going up to 1? Is that the idea?
Yeah, sure. I didn't really do mine in any kind of order.
Okay.
Well, no. If we're doing a snake draft, you pick whatever. I'm not going to tell you.
That's a good point. Yeah, you pick.
It's a reverse snake draft.
Yeah, but if one of your picks gets taken off the board, then
yeah.
So it goes.
I think my picks are staying on the board. I'm going to do pretty confident. I'm going to do 2 honorable mentions.
Okay. Just making your own rules. It's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. So it's they both have to do with the 20.
You can't take this at the beginning.
It's a reverse snake, Cooper. Come on.
I'm gonna actually take 3 picks here. And then you guys can go. But I'm confident I'm not taking anyone else's.
It's a really misshapen snake.
John is all of a sudden like the Sam Presti of this draft.
Yeah.
So the 2 honorable mentions are both from the 2014 World Cup, Men's World Cup. In case anyone's confused about that, I'm pretty sure there was only one World Cup in 2014. But it's Germany versus Brazil. Definitely one of the best soccer games I've ever watched. Just Germany pummeling Brazil.
That was 2018, wasn't it?
No, it was 2014.
Just to understand how sick of an individual John is. John loves watching a stadium full of Brazil fans crying as they're watching their team get pummeled.
A group of young men
in the semifinals of a World Cup.
Under the pressure of their home countries.
Completely taken apart. It was the beginning of the end for Neymar. It's right there.
Okay.
Anyway, that one, and then
27.
The other honorable mention is the Netherlands Spain 2014 also, which Cooper before the podcast corrected me and told me it is called the particular goal in it is Robbie van Persie doing like this beautiful header and it's called the Flying Dutchman and it's pretty dope. So 2 honorable mentions there. On to the real list now. Number 4 because it had the least amount of. Yeah, I think just taking everything into consideration. Number 4 is the 2012 Notre Dame Michigan State game, which is also maybe the Manti game, if you wanted to call it that. It was the week of the announcement about Manti's grandma and his not fiance or whatever, girlfriend, whatever. Lene. But it's one of the greatest. I just remember it as one of like the best games freshman year.
Wait, you mean Michigan or Michigan State?
Michigan State.
Okay.
Although Michigan and Stanford also were close. It's just I went with Michigan State because it was. I actually watched that one on TV.
Yep.
Because it wasn't at home. So that was a great one. John Goodman catching this bizarre pass from Everett Colson in the end zone. It was great.
So. Funny enough, I wasn't going to do this one, but now that you said it, I had 2012 Michigan Notre Dame
awesome.
On my list for a lot of the same reasons. That was like the Lays for Manti game.
Yeah.
It was night game, which was our first night game as students there. It was the first time I met Cooper's now wife, Olivia, somewhat infamously. And it was a great Tommy Rees game.
Great Tommy Rees game. Tommy Rees Tommy Rees scored the only touchdown in the game.
13-6 was the final score.
It was a rushing touchdown.
Yep, it was a QB draw. And the defense, I think, forced 6 turnovers on Denard Robinson.
It was great.
The Michigan offense. That was Denard Robinson, Devin Gardner.
Yeah.
That team was really good at Michigan.
It was. Denard Robinson's birthday also.
It was his birthday, and that was Manti picked him off once.
Oh, that was so good.
Bennett Jackson might have picked him off once. Anyway, that's a great rewatch because it was like the kind of like first feeling in that season that because the Michigan State game was the week after, right? Or a week before.
It was a week before.
Okay. Yeah. So those two games together were like that. And then later in the season, the Oklahoma game were like announcements that Notre Dame that year was for real.
Yeah.
So
Do you
that's
remember who the running back was for Michigan State?
Was it Le'Veon Bell?
It was Le'Veon Bell. That ended his Heisman campaign, like the second week of the season.
Yep. I was actually at that game in East Lansing. Funny story. My dad. Anyway, Cooper.
So I'm not gonna like pick my fourth game because that's ridiculous. The most rewatchable game I have of all time, which is kind of a little bit of a shocker that I'm going with this because I don't typically think soccer games are very rewatchable. But the 2012 Man City versus QPR game, where City clinched the trophy in like the waning seconds of the season with a Sergio Aguero goal, is super iconic. I was watching it live. I've rewatched it several times. Sucks as a United fan, but an incredible sports moment.
Okay. Snake it around now.
Yeah, double up, Coop.
Oh yeah, I have two. Sorry. Got lost in the snake already. Number two, I'll go with 2016 Cavs versus Warriors Game 7. LeBron just going off, Kyrie going off, the shot, the block, the like nerves of the players in the final 5 minutes on both teams, and like how atrocious they both were at playing basketball.
Yep.
Because of the stakes and all that was awesome.
You had the infamous Curry behind the back pass.
Oh yeah, Kevin Love actually playing defense.
Yes, locking down Curry on the last.
Shocking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Last possession.
So, yeah, that was a pretty awesome game.
That is. Except the Cavs wore those dumb short sleeve uniforms. It's the only blemish on that entire
Really?
rewatch.
I don't think they're that bad.
Not a fan.
They were also pretty lucky with them. They won. I'm not gonna like. It's
all about the lucky jerseys.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess it's my turn now. Also, in the interest of not being a super homer with this, this is maybe not a rewatchable game, but a moment. And I love college basketball, and college basketball has a lot of these moments. But the one that I always like go back to is the IU Kentucky game, where Kentucky was undefeated at the time. John, you know what I'm talking about? At Assembly Hall, the game-winning shot, the game-winning three, which was like insanity. Like insane crowd reaction, insane shot. And I can't think of, it was Wofford. Christian Wofford was the one who hit the shot for the Hoosiers. And this might be like a weird pick, but if I could like bucket all of like college basketball home buzzer beaters or like NCAA tournament buzzer beaters into one, I might maybe just do that for this. But that's the one that like kind of gives the goosebumps.
Yeah.
I figured that would play for you, John, as a IU.
Actually, never went to a game inside Assembly Hall. Went inside Assembly Hall, made a basket inside Assembly Hall, but never got to a game for a plethora of reasons, many of which involved law school. So,
okay, fair enough. All right, John, you have two.
I have two. Great. Okay, so I'm gonna double up. So I will start with the not homer and then go to the homer. So not homer is, I think, the latest I ever stayed up to watch a baseball game was Game 7 of the 2016 World Series with the Cubs and the Indians.
Good one.
Yeah, it was because it went to extra innings. They put out Aroldis
There was a
Chapman.
rain delay.
There was a rain delay. Yeah, it was just, and the nerves were insane. Like because the Cubs had gone down and then come back from 3-1, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so the Indians were it was in Cleveland.
Yep.
And the Indians were trying to hold them off and finally won a championship again. And they had an amazing squad. Anyway, I just think that's one of the baseball games that has stuck with me for forever. Well, for 3 years. But and then my number two is the most rewatchable professional football game for me is, of course, Super Bowl 52.
Suck.
And the Eagles beating the Patriots, and
Philly
watching
special.
the sack and the Philly special. Oh, it's so great. But you have to watch it with the Tide commercials. Gotta watch it with the Tide commercials.
Is it a Tide commercial?
With
That's right. That was that Super Bowl.
yeah, Chief Hopper or whatever his name was.
David Harbour.
Yeah, so good. It's a Tide commercial. Those are so good.
Man, now I really feel like I blew my second one. I was trying to not be a homer, but there are so many homer worthy ones. So I'll throw out as a non-homer-ish one the 2014 AL wildcard game, the Royals versus the A's. This was the Royals' first playoff appearance in 29 years at home. They were down, I think 7-2 at one point, come back, extra innings, and then Sal Perez hits the double down the line. Also like a very late night baseball watching experience. And so I'll put that one on there too as a Kansas City kind of fan. That was very cool to watch. Cooper, you got two. Your last two.
Okay. Last two. Man, this is really tough. Okay, so I'm gonna go with like my favorite game to watch from a homer perspective. But man. Okay, 2002, the 2002 national championship game between Ohio State and Miami in the Fiesta Bowl. Just because of the odds that Ohio State was facing. I mean, obviously, I remember watching that as a kid in my parents' bedroom with my dad. Just kind of all the memories associated with that. It was awesome. My fourth pick be probably my favorite game and one of my favorite sports to watch would be the Texas versus USC 2006 Rose Bowl. Because I think that might be like the most iconic college football game, maybe ever.
Maybe like the most star-studded too.
Like the fourth down play. Oh yeah, like how good USC was. Like how many plays were necessary for Texas to win that game.
Yeah,
just what a football game. It was awesome.
John, this could have been one of your honorable mentions too, but the Notre Dame USC Bush Push game is actually like if you're like a masochist, it's kind of a fun rewatch.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, actually, the Notre Dame USC Manti game is also an amazing one with the 8 goal line stands with the pass interference.
That one.
I mean, it's not like
great. So that was a bad USC team.
It was a bad USC team.
Notre Dame probably should have beaten by more than they did that year.
Another, I think, great rewatchable game. Actually, no. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna save that until it's my turn because it ties in with another one.
Okay. So I have one more. My last one, and this was always going to be my number one. Game 4 of the 2004 ALCS, the Dave Roberts game, the David Ortiz game, the game where like all completely changed for really like the entire Boston Red Sox franchise and the next trajectory of the next 15 years. And the dynamic that they have with the Yankees. And you look back on it and like fractions of a second determined, like Dave Roberts gets thrown out, then that series is over. The Red Sox, like, who knows what happens from there with the team and with the players that who they decide to keep around or not. And it's the start of David Ortiz's legacy in Boston, really putting him on track to be like a Larry Bird, Bobby Orr, Tom Brady. Like, he is on the Mount Rushmore firmly now. And it started that game 4 in 2004. So that was always number 1 for me.
So my last honorable mention is the Texas A&M LSU game from this year.
Oh yeah.
Like 14
That's
overtimes.
A great one. We're gonna do a bunch of honorable mentions at the end.
It's not football.
No, it turned into like
so brutal. Yeah. Anyway, that ties in with my number 1, which is the most iconic and rewatchable game ever. Is the John Isner Nicholas Mahut match from the 2010 championships at Wimbledon. It's the longest match in Wimbledon history. It went 11 hours and 41 minutes long. It's an amazing amount of tennis. I remember watching it, watching part of it the first day, and then following it because it lasted, I think, 3 days long, with rain delays and having to get in after other courts. And than playing past when, because they don't have lights. They don't have stadium lights in Wimbledon. So playing past when the sun went down. Just a wild game. So many aces. John Isner's finest hour. And then he promptly lost the next match. He was physically exhausted.
Shocking.
How does one rewatch a tennis match, especially of that length? Is it like a highlights?
Well, yeah, you can do highlights, or you can just watch it on YouTube. I mean,
just sit down for 11 hours.
No, but it's like the Nadal Federer final from Wimbledon final from like 2009 or maybe it was 2010. It was the longest final in Wimbledon history until this year, but it's just an amazing one. Just both guys so good. Part of what makes Wimbledon so special until this year was that they don't have a tiebreaker on the last set. So normally you play until someone gets six games and they have to win by 2. But if you both get to 6, you play a tiebreaker instead of just continuing to play. But in Wimbledon, for the 5th set, if you make it there, you just keep playing, and you just someone has to break their opponent. And so that's what makes for these massively long games. But they changed the rules this year, so it's not a thing anymore. But
yeah, I was gonna say this year had like a really memorable Wimbledon final too that you could probably put on some kind of rewatchable list eventually.
Yeah, it's the year of the tiebreaker, unfortunately.
Yeah. So what do we miss? What are some other honorable mentions? Cooper, do you have any?
Yeah, I had a couple, mostly homer picks. Obviously, a couple of LeBron games. I mean, we talked briefly about Game 6 against the Celtics in 2012. I think the big one, probably the most rewatchable like highlight. It's kind of hard to rewatch full NBA games on YouTube. Would be Game 5 versus the Pistons in 2007 when he scored like 25 straight points or 27 out of 31 points, final points for the Cavs. That one of the most memorable soccer games for me is and I didn't watch it live, obviously. I've rewatched it since, would be the 1999 United versus Bayern Munich Champions League final game. And it was when they completed the trebles the last time an English team has completed the European treble. And they scored 2 goals in like the 91st and 93rd minute of that game. So that's a pretty memorable one. That's all I had on my list.
The 2015 punt game against Alabama with Ohio State.
Oh, the kick 6.
Oh, well, no. Okay, so the Auburn kick 6, but I was talking about just the national semifinal against Alabama it was a game of Ohio State kind of beat them up, but it was also this huge game of field position.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they have an alien punting for their team.
Yeah, it was insane.
Dude, whatever happened to him? I can't remember his name.
I don't know.
I don't think he's in the NFL, is he?
He graduated. Dude, he was a freshman. His name was J.K. Scott.
He is the craziest
He had like
punter
go
ever.
gadget legs.
Yeah.
I think this was his senior year. I think this was his senior year this year.
No, he's playing for the Packers.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
And
figures.
Yep.
In terms of Notre Dame games, we mentioned briefly the Stanford game.
Off air, we mentioned the monsoon game, the Clemson monsoon game.
Yeah, those fall into like the how badly do you want to make yourself hurt category. Yeah. Like the one that actually started this whole conversation, even before we were on air, is the Notre Dame Kentucky 2015 Elite Eight game, which came up this week on Twitter with all those guys from that Notre Dame team back working out at Notre Dame. And that's a really painful yet kind of strangely enjoyable one to rewatch. So that team was amazing. Anyway, I have others, but we're running long. So we can wrap up.
Oh, the 2 Ohio State Notre Dame games, that would be on my list too.
Oh, the Villanova, Kansas, and the 2 Villanova, Kansas games where they just bludgeoned them with 3s, and also the Villanova, Oklahoma game from 2016.
What about the Jenkins game?
The Jenkins game is good too, but it's not as enjoyable for me to rewatch because it's not, as good. But it's crazy. I love the Jay Wright calling the shot. I could rewatch that.
Yeah. And just his like cool, calm reaction.
Yeah. Boom.
Boom. Also, sorry, I can't let you off the hook with this one, John. You mentioned World Cup games. You didn't mention the Landon Donovan goal against Algeria.
I was going to talk about. You went to the bathroom and I talked to Cooper about the 2010 USA England game, where the
cheapo goal.
Joe Green or whatever, someone just collapsed and couldn't catch the ball.
Yep.
It was Clint Dempsey, I think, that
it was
technically scored it. Yeah. But the Algeria game was infuriating because we had a referee who was but the Landon Donovan goal where he came all the way up, he came up the side and then along the back line and then scored across the front of the goal. Yeah. Wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
That horrendous goalkeeping, but that's okay.
And then the goal against Ghana in 2014.
Oh yeah, to excise the demons.
Yeah, John Brooks. Yeah. So I was surprised you left those off. We couldn't go without mentioning them.
Yeah. Well, and then of course the classic goals to win the 2011 Gold Cup, whatever those were.
Who could forget?
Who could forget?
Okay, I feel like we could do this maybe as an entire podcast, and maybe we will at some point. But for now, let's finish up with our wastes of data. Do you guys have waste of data?
I do.
John, go ahead.
My waste of data lies on the cutting room floor tonight. Our original Fire Four was the Fire Four of people of CSC Priest to take over as the next president of Notre Dame. I think that would have been a great piece of content that the listeners would have loved. And it was sparked by Father Daniel Grudy being appointed to the positions of vice president and associate provost, the same positions that Father Jenkins held before he ascended to the presidency of Our Lady's University. And also, fun fact, he was elected to a 5-year. Father Jenkins was elected to his most recent term in 2015. It's a 5-year term. It would expire next year. So keep your heads in a swivel. There's more than one 2020 presidential contest to look out for.
Should we just rebrand hard as a 2020 Notre Dame presidency podcast?
Yeah.
John, are you like the Woj of Notre Dame presidency rumors?
I think I'm more like the more of a research guy. I don't have insiders.
You don't have sources.
I can connect the dots.
Okay. Well, we are your go-to for content on
like Oliver Stone. I'm the Oliver Stone of.
Okay. Okay, that works.
We could rebrand with a really vague political name and get some followers who were really confused when we were talking about Notre Dame priests and who's going to be the next president.
Yeah.
Especially next year.
Like talking 2020.
Blue Gold State? I don't know.
Blue and Gold State is great. That might be the name of the episode. Might be a contender.
Ooh. We passed up inside of the neck.
I don't know. Inside the neck has weird connotations that I'm not 100% sure of.
That's super comfortable.
No. And then Bandcamp does too.
It does. So, it does. Could be copyrighted for all we know.
Well, you can always get us out of a pickle if we need.
Nope. Can't. Sorry. Moving on.
All right, Cooper.
All right, I'm going to take kind of maybe a weird stance, a stance that wouldn't be predictable. So Harbaugh had some comments at Big Ten Media Days this week. I'm not going to talk about the transferring thing because I don't want to talk about issues like depression and things like that. Instead, I'm going to talk about his comments about Ohio State, and he said that basically made some comment about Urban Meyer and how controversy follows him wherever he goes. And then, of course, there was lots of backlash towards that. And I'm actually going to defend Harbaugh because, he's right. And, what else is he supposed to say if someone tees him up with the question? Yeah, he hasn't ever beaten Urban Meyer and he's never beaten Ohio State. But I just think it's ridiculous because he is right. The controversy followed Urban Meyer wherever he went. And I think he's fair to point it out. I don't see any, foul in it.
Yeah. I completely forgot about that, but I'm glad you brought it up because that was hot in the summer sports talk world. That was
it was because we have nothing to talk about, and that's just what people are going to talk about. But I just really I don't think it should be a story.
Also, because conference media days are dumb. Because why have a conference media day? Why even have a conference?
Agreed, John. Yeah, why even have a conference?
Why even have a conference?
Okay. I'm doing this kind of on the fly. Mine's the Red Sox. They're terrible. They lost 2 out of 3 this weekend to the Orioles, who are 31-67. And today they almost got no hit by the Orioles, who again are 31-67. They had 1 hit today. They've just been sputtering, and I probably expected this. And I think, in fact, in our MLB preview, I picked the Yankees to win the East, and they are a wagon. And they have gotten even more wagon-ish with Edwin Encarnacion, which they absolutely did not need, but is going to hit 40 home runs in the second half in their Little League park. So yeah, just not great stuff right now from the Red Sox. But on a positive note, Cooper, did you see the Reds uniforms today?
No.
Okay.
Are they sleeveless?
They are sleeveless.
Yes.
And Puig, of course, went sleeveless, but so did 2 other guys. I'm not even sure what their names are. But they were doing curls in the dugout. They had an easy curl bar in the dugout pregame, and they were ripping
crazy
curls.
Eights?
No, I don't think they were doing crazy eights because that's more advanced move. They didn't want to strain themselves that much before a game. But I love the sleeveless uniforms. That is my use of it for the week.
They're so weird looking. It's almost like they're standing there naked or something.
I know, it just seems so
doesn't look right.
But also, how practical, the hottest part of the summer. Like, I'm surprised more guys on the team didn't decide to do that, but they probably were. If Yasiel Puig is on your team and going sleeveless, you're going to be insecure about your arm size.
How pumped do you think Puig is when he finds that it's a sleeveless uniform day?
Yes. It's like his Christmas. Yep. Puig is a treasure, and Cooper, I hope you enjoy having him for the year that you probably will have him, that he's probably going to leave. But did you look at the picture when we're done here? I
already did.
Awesome. Did you watch the video of them curling?
Yeah, this isn't the first time they've worn the sleeveless uniforms, but I think this might have been the first time the curl bar came out.
Yeah. And then Puig puts it in the trash can. Like, you guys don't need this. But they do need it. Anyway, on that note, that's the show. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Small Takes. We'll be back, I think, one more show with Cooper before he hits the road. Then he's gonzo. He'll be back too. So yeah, we'll talk to you guys soon. Until then, leave a review, download, tell a friend, hit us up on Twitter, and we'll be back in a week.
Dope. You guys getting a van, Cooper?